Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today for the Medical College of Wisconsin, Central Wisconsin's commencement ceremony honoring the class of 2024. This class is special in many ways, including having embarked on their medical journey amidst the challenges of a COVID-19 lockdown. This class also represents an exciting milestone, the 100th graduate from MCW Central Wisconsin. We celebrate you collectively as our 100th graduate, but know that to each of you are one in a million. Today's ceremony represents the culmination of the combined efforts of the community, the faculty, the staff, the students, and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Many of you have contributed to the success of our campus. Thank you. We could not achieve this without you. Your support of MCW has allowed us to build a brighter future for Wisconsin. I would like to now introduce Dr. John R. Raymond Sr., President and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, to offer his congratulations to the graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Hodson. Thank you, Dr. Dodson, and welcome everyone. Good afternoon. We're so glad you're here. Members of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, graduating class of the year 2024, distinguished guests, friends, family members, community leaders, veterans, and active duty military. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this 6th commencement ceremony for the Medical College of Wisconsin, Central Wisconsin. To our graduating students, I thank you for your flexibility, maturity, and resilience, for your leadership, empathy, and your trust in science, for being champions of rationality, and for being extremely caring and supportive of your colleagues and your patients throughout the entirety of your education. Your white coat ceremony officially marked the beginning of your journey toward becoming physicians. That day was the first of what we hope were many great occasions and milestones in your early careers as physicians. And I have no doubt that today, as you formally become our newest physicians and colleagues, will be amongst your most memorable. The pride that I felt in welcoming you as incoming medical students is only a fraction of what I feel today, now, as I see you in your graduation regalia, hopeful and excited about taking the next steps on your individual and collective journeys. Today's a culmination of your hard work, commitment, and dedication to your medical studies. But more importantly, it marks the beginning of your lifelong work as healers who will elevate the health and healthcare of our communities and the world around us. And I certainly hope that most of you will choose to do that work here in Central Wisconsin. We hope that you, our students, will take pride in what you've accomplished at MCW Central Wisconsin and will carry forward your founding spirit and your fundamental connections to this community. And I am confident that your careers will bring great promise built upon the wonderful tradition that is MCW. I also hope that each of you will be mindful of the mounting pressures on medicine now and into the future. Remember to live in the moment while you look to the future. Draw strength from your peers, colleagues, friends, and most of all from your families. Make time to refresh and revitalize, renew your body, your mind, and your relationships, and maintain your sense of purpose and savor the satisfaction of the privilege and the joy of practicing medicine. Look back, reflect on your accomplishments, and gaze ahead into your bright futures. On this milestone occasion, I also wish to express my sincere gratitude to all of our partners throughout the region. We thank you not only for embracing our vision, but for building something truly unique. This has become a national model for medical education. It's something for which we all should be proud. We hope that you'll continue to partner with us as we make this idea one that is sustainable and relevant. Graduates, you have our warmest, best wishes and support. With that, I'd now like to introduce Mr. Philip Flynn, Chair of the Medical College of Wisconsin's Board of Trustees, to offer his congratulations on behalf of the Board of Trustees.
Thanks, John. It's been my honor to be the board chair at MCW for the past 2 years. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we want to offer our congratulations to all of you today. It's an amazing journey that you've all been on to get to med school, to get through med school, with all the complications that your particular class had along the way. And we really are very impressed by everything that you've accomplished. As you begin your new beginnings as physicians, we salute you and we wish you well. We know you'll bring great honor to yourselves and to your alma mater. Thanks and congratulations again.
I'm not that late. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Christopher Zeman, a member of our first class at MCW Central Wisconsin and an alumnus of the Medical College, to deliver the charge from the alumni.
Good afternoon, doctors. Congratulations to everybody in the class of 2024. Really, you've probably heard it a lot today. You're going to hear it many more times in the future, but congratulations to every one of you. A few short years ago, I had the privilege of being the student speaker at the 2020 commencement, unfortunately, virtually, due to the COVID pandemic. And I'm really happy to see actual faces in front of me this time. So, in that speech, I had shared some experiences which, at the time, I thought were helpful for my experiences being in the military and as a father to 4 children. I can recall talking about some of those things, mostly about relying on your friends and your colleagues, trying to focus on small goals in order to get you through those tough days. And my personal favorite piece of advice, which is don't be a jerk, which is still true, by the way, and unfortunately something that I find myself saying more and more often as my children get older. Now that I've been out of residency for a year, in many ways I'm still adjusting to life post-residency, but I do have a few additional other things for you all who are about to embark on intern year. The first is, please be pragmatic and find people that inspire you in the future. Everybody is going to have their own opinion. They'll have their own advice. Find mentors that you trust and admire in both their words and the actions that they do, because they're out there. Just remember that not all words of wisdom are helpful, and that not all words of wisdom are actually wisdom. Just be choosy in who you choose to follow. Find a mentor, older residents, attendings whose opinions you value, because all of them will be different. Secondly, accept that when you start, your mental bandwidth is going to be competing for space for everything that is going on in your life. Just know that pathophysiology, medication, patient information, all of the really important stuff is all going to be vying for real estate with things like, where's the bathroom? Or how do I order potassium? Or, oh my God, I can't remember how to spell potassium. It will happen. Just realize that this is perfectly normal, and know that over time, you're going to become more efficient, and that you will actually learn something. It may not feel like it right away, and it might take a year until you find a new intern class below you asking you questions that you actually realize just how far you've actually come in a year and how much you're growing. With that in mind, please know that it's also important to learn how to give yourself some grace. And that is something that took me years to realize, and something that I still struggle with as a physician. Just know that you're not going to know everything at the end of your intern year. You're not going to know it all at the end of residency. You're not going to know it as an attending. And it's kind of cliche, but you really are lifelong learners. And you have to realize where you are currently is not where you're going to be next month, next year, in 5 years. Thirdly, accept that you can't help everybody all of the time. My first day in residency, I started on our inpatient adult medicine service. As I stepped off the elevator onto the 3rd floor, I went to go see 2 of my new patients who had been admitted overnight for quote-unquote confusion. And as soon as I walked off the elevator, I could hear 2 voices at opposite ends of the hallway screaming at the top of their lungs. And all I could think was, please don't be my patient. Please don't be my patient. Both of them were my patients that day. And unfortunately, because they were harmed to themselves, they were both restrained to the bed for trying to kick, bite, and punch nursing staff, physicians. The good thing is, both of them got better, and we were able to discharge them. One of them succumbed to his illnesses a few weeks later. But know that there's going to be times when you meet patients on the worst day of their life. And in a best case scenario, you listen to the patient, you make a plan, and you get to watch them get better, which is the greatest feeling ever. And just know that sometimes all you can do is listen to a patient, make a plan. Sometimes they won't get better. Sometimes all you can do is listen to a patient. And just know that listening, just by listening and bearing witness to somebody's pain and suffering, is sometimes just as powerful as the medicine or the surgery or the intervention that we can provide to our patients. Do what you can to take care of yourself. I'm a firm believer in finding time for work-life balance. Unfortunately, residency is not that time. But you still need methods to decompress. Sleep when you can, get cardiovascular exercise when you can, even if it's 10 minutes a few times a week. If you have bad patient outcomes, because it will inevitably happen, talk to somebody about it. We as doctors do our best to take care of patients, and when a patient gets ill or dies, we're very good at compartmentalizing all of that. We pack it away in its own neat little box, and then we drive on and we continue to see other patients and continue to provide care, and that's what we do. But it's sort of like putting away a tent in the rain. Eventually you have to unpack it, set it back up where the air and the sun can reach it. And if you ever question whether or not you should see a professional about your experiences or anything else you're going through, it's time to go find one. 5 to 10 years ago, the discussion surrounding one's own mental health was still seriously taboo in the military, and to some extent, medicine as well. And I think thankfully those times are changing. Maybe not 100% behind us, but definitely changing from where we were 5, 10 years ago. Before you know it, and this is kind of cliche as well, but your long, long days are going to turn into short years, and you're going to actually be done with residency. Take care of yourselves, take care of your residents, your fellows, take care of your patients, because we need each and every one of you. Good luck to you all, and thanks for inviting me to speak to your class. Good luck.
Thank you, Dr. Zeman. Will Ms. Kathy Kelsey Foley and Dr. Colette Salatka please come forward? Ms. Kathy Kelsey Foley, former director of Wausau's Lee Yawkey Woodson Art Museum, had the distinction of having twice served in that position from 1987 to 1991, and again from 1998 until her retirement on December 31st, 2022. Her tenure at the museum was highlighted by the growth of faculty and staff, as well as the collections and programs, resulting in national and regional and national recognition. At the time of her retirement, Museum Board President John Tubbs said, "Thanks to Kathy's leadership, the Woodson Art Museum has expanded and elevated the vision of the founding families while celebrating our mission to enhance lives through art and maintain the commitment to always free admission." During Kathy's tenure, the Woodson Art Museum received its third reaccreditation from the American Alliance of Museums, and most notably was recognized by the Institute of Museum and Library Services as one of only 5 museum recipients of the 2017 National Medal for Museum Service, an acknowledgement of the Woodson's exceptional community service. The Woodson also received the 2016 Wisconsin Governor's Arts, Culture, and Heritage Tourism Award. Kathy's dedication to the visual arts and the museum have been similarly lauded. She was inducted as a fellow of the Wisconsin Academy of Sciences, Arts, and Letters in 2014, received the Wisconsin Visual Art Achievement Award in 2016, and was honored by the Association of Midwest Museums in 2020 with the Distinguished Career Award. In recognition of Kathy's service and accomplishments, of the Woodson Museum's Board of Directors awarded her the title of Director Emerita. Kathy received her undergraduate degree in art history from Vassar College and a master's degree also in art history from the Johns Hopkins University. Her museum training and experience included stints at the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., the Dayton Art Institute, Northwestern University's Block Museum of Art, where she was the founding director, and the Gap, Inc., where she served as manager of corporate internal communications. Kathy's community and professional involvement includes prior service on the boards of United Way, the Wausau's Performing Arts Foundation, and the Wausau Central Wisconsin Convention and Visitors Bureau. She currently serves on the boards of Aspirus Wausau Hospital and Aspirus Clinics, Inc., and chairs the Aspirus, Inc. Quality Committee. Kathy's involvement in the broader museum field includes a lengthy tenure on the board of the Association of Midwest Museums and service as an Institute of Museum and Library Services grant review panelist, American Alliance of Museums accreditation site visitor, and Smithsonian Metropolitan Life grant reviewer. That's a lot. Kathy has been an advocate for the arts at both the federal and state levels and was recognized by the American Alliance of Museums as a 2013 Star Advocate. In honor of her passion and advocacy for the arts at both the federal and state levels, her significant leadership and distinguished career in the museum field, her commitment to the greater Wausau community, the health of its citizen, and importantly, the future of the Medical College of Wisconsin, Central Wisconsin, it is my pleasure to present Ms. Kathy Kelsey Foley to you, Dr. Raymond, as a worthy recipient of an honorary Doctor of Humanities degree.
Thank you, Dean Dotson. Ms. Kathy Kelsey Foley, by virtue of the authority delegated to me, recommendation of the Commencement Committee, and by action of the MC, upon you the degree Doctor of Humanities, honoris causa. And now I'm very Foley to deliver this afternoon's keynote address.
Thank you, Dean Dotson, Dr. Raymond, Dr. Kirshner, and Mr. Flynn. My heartiest congratulations to today's 15 Medical College of Wisconsin Central Wisconsin campus graduates. That your Herculean achievements bring the number of campus graduates over the 100 mark is a momentous milestone for a program and vision that were a community dream a dozen years ago. Congratulations to your families and loved ones who joined and supported you on the journey throughout the highs and lows of your demanding medical training. You all have so many reasons to be proud. I am deeply humbled to stand before you today, enormously grateful for the opportunity, and frankly, overwhelmed by the award of an honorary degree. My journey to this juncture has been immensely gratifying, at times challenging, largely joyful, and with much to be thankful for. I hope you feel similarly about your respective journeys. Serendipity has been a touch point throughout my life. I understand that in the pursuit of your medical degree, leaving anything to chance might be a foreign concept. However, for me, whether leaping at opportunities or allowing things to play out, I have been rewarded not only through hard work, but also by happenstance that might in part be why I am here today. My story. I went to college 54 years ago. That's a number that's hard to wrap my head around. 54 years ago, as a pre-med student, imagine that. I was serious and committed, or so I thought. While physics and biology initially took up the lion's share of my time, an introductory art history course turned out to be life-changing. By the end of the first semester, I was ready to change my focus, adopt art history as a major, and share this news with my parents. You might imagine what happens next. What will you do with art history, they asked. I don't know that I had a ready answer at the time, but I followed my heart and forged a career. Now, in sharing this, I'm not suggesting that any of you give up the pursuit of medicine for curatorial work. During the course of my career here in Central Wisconsin and elsewhere, I have steadfastly and enthusiastically pursued professional opportunities along the way to be involved in the communities my family called home. Museum stints in Dayton, Ohio, Evanston, Illinois, and in Wausau, coupled with corporate communication work at Gap Inc. in San Francisco, afforded opportunities to grow, expand my knowledge base, and pursue innovative methods and actions to make art and art museums accessible to all, serving the broadest possible constituencies. In pursuit of that seemingly elusive accessibility, among the innovations that caught my attention was the pioneering work of an educator at New York's Museum of Modern Art, who in the early 1990s developed an art-based teaching methodology called visual thinking strategies. The intent of VTS, as it came to be known, is to use art to teach visual literacy, critical thinking, and communication skills. The basic open-ended questions of VTS are not only still used in museum settings, but also have been adopted in medical education, as CW students know from their visits to Wausau's Lee Yawkey Woodson Art Museum. When Central Wisconsin community leaders came together to build the case to secure the second MCW campus for Wausau, I suggested that the Woodson Art Museum could serve as a resource for medical students, playing a role in their education. In addition to serving students with ready access to Woodson exhibitions and its collection, the museum and medical college developed a positive, collaborative relationship that continues. Today's graduating class likely recalls creating sand mandalas in the sculpture garden, or perhaps experiencing sculpture through touch while blindfolded. Complementing hands-on activities such as these, Woodson art educators engage students using VTS inquiries, honing key observational skills to be transferred from the galleries to clinical settings. Additionally, interacting with works of art serves to heighten emotional and empathetic responses to a range of situations, both positive and negative. Time in the galleries and engaging in art making, whether part of a class assignment or on one's own, can go a long way in enhancing self-care, so vital for clinicians and all of us. I encourage you to keep this learning top of mind. Looking intently and thinking critically are certainly skills you will continue to master. They are not only necessary for the practice of medicine, but also in tandem with other skills, the basis for being a thoughtful, caring, and productive person. Prolific author, New York Times opinion columnist, and PBS commentator David Brooks has a lot to say about the essential skills for being human. In his decades-long work and more recent focus, which resulted in the publication of How to Know a Person, The Art of Seeing Others Deeply and Being Deeply Seen, Brooks learned that while being open-hearted can lead to being a full, kind, and wise human being, it's only part of the equation. Social skills are essential. These include being curious about others, disagreeing respectfully, appropriately revealing vulnerabilities, being a good listener, asking for and offering forgiveness, embracing others, seeing things from someone else's point of view, and the list goes on. Brooks asserts that a basic human need is to connect, but learning to do so is the challenge. With the publication of How to Know a Person, his goals were to teach people how to understand others, how to make them feel respected, valued, and understood. While these noble goals are vital for all of us to adopt in our daily lives, speaking now as a patient, I'm suggesting these goals are vitally important for the practice of medicine too. Brooks goes on to highlight people he identifies as illuminators, those who are curious about others, asking the right questions at the right times, working to see things from another's point of view. Illuminators care and respect others. They are a joy to be around. Brooks cites 5 skills that illuminators possess as essential to see others well. I'll single out just 3. The gift of attention. Think about how you present to others. Those who radiate warmth bring out the positive sides in others. Brooks writes, when you offer a gaze that communicates respect, you are positively answering the questions people are unconsciously asking themselves when they meet you. Am I a person to you? Am I a priority to you? Those questions are answered by your eyes before they are answered by your words. Think about that, how profoundly true. Our eyes speak volumes. The art of conversation. If you want to know about people, you have to work at being a conversationalist. How? Well, according to David Brooks, by being an active listener, by telling stories and resisting the temptation to shift attention back to yourself in conversation. Big questions. The quality of conversations depends on the quality of the questions asked. Unlike uninhibited children, most adults are generally cautious when asking questions. This is, of course, counterintuitive because most people want to tell you their stories. Alas, too often, no one asks. When you ask good, big questions, Brooks believes you're adopting a posture of humility, honoring the other person. In short, illuminators have the capacity to make a difference in their interactions with others, within their communities, and in their day-to-day practices. With modest effort and embracing David Brooks's guidance, we can each stretch a bit to see others more deeply and in turn be deeply seen too. I'm asking you to take up the posture and practice of illuminators as the benefits are unlimited. Your journeys are about to become even more interesting and likely even more challenging. From my vantage point, now 17 months into retirement, I suggest remaining open to unexpected opportunities that serendipity creates, even though it might be contrary to your nature. While your schedules are sure to be packed full, if you can find time to give back to the community in ways apart from your medical practice, you will be rewarded in unexpected and intangible ways. Speaking as a wife, mother, and grandmother, don't skimp on personal time. Your families need and deserve your attention. Try to supplement your professional reading with pleasure reading. I know that's hard to even imagine, just for fun and relaxation. You'll be surprised how often the two overlap. Take to heart the learning imparted by David Brooks. Consider the skills of an illuminator to enhance your practice of medicine, to question and listen deeply, to look intently, and to make a difference. Remember to be patient and respectful as well as humble. Never traffic in regrets. A positive attitude will go a long way in fulfilling your dreams. And most important, take good care of yourself, your loved ones, your colleagues, and your patients. Your professors, your mentors, your communities are counting on you. Congratulations and thank you from the bottom of my heart for your commitment to medicine and the health of our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy, for sharing your inspiring words and for your commitment to the campus and to our community. I would now like to invite Jonathan Bressler, selected by his peers from the MCW Central Wisconsin Class of 2024, to the podium to say a few words.
A 38-year-old cisgender male presents to the clinic this morning wearing graduation cap and gown. He says he's graduating from medical school today. He thinks he must have blacked out since the last thing he remembers is sitting on a chairlift in Lake Tahoe, where he checked his email on his smartphone and found he was accepted to medical school. He recounts a convoluted nightmare in which a global pandemic shut the world down. He deferred school for a year but did manage to get married, then sat at a computer answering multiple choice questions for several years, and had a baby. He woke up 3 days ago with a pounding headache and fatigue. Past medical history is unremarkable. He says he probably has ADHD, but has never been diagnosed and just self-medicates with caffeine. He typically drinks 5 to 6 cups of coffee every day from the doctor's lounge, where his badge mysteriously stopped working 3 days ago, which he took as a sign that he was no longer welcome in the hospital. Physical exam is positive for injected sclera and periorbital edema, consistent with sleep deprivation. On mental statics exam, the patient is bizarrely dressed in graduation cap and gown. He denies suicidal or homicidal ideation, but endorses poor sleep and difficulty concentrating on schoolwork, launching into a tirade about how no well-adjusted person can study for 12 to 15 hours a day and stay focused, although this is exactly what he's been expected to do for the last 3 years. The patient denies auditory or visual hallucinations, but expresses concern of delusions, as he is aware of several reputable scientific journals since the late 20th century that demonstrate rigorous and convincing evidence of a direct relationship between the burning of hydrocarbons and the unprecedented rise in global temperatures over the past 50 years. And yet, despite this revelation, everyone he knows continues to drive vehicles that run on petroleum-based fuels. He further notes that no reasonable person he knows would like to either of the frontrunners of the upcoming election be president, yet both continue to campaign. The patient says that the only sensible explanation for these contradictions is that he himself must be delusional. Differential diagnosis for this patient's 3-day headache includes tension headache, migraine, and brain tumor, but is most likely attributable to caffeine withdrawal. He was empirically treated with a large mug of coffee and a granola bar from the doctor's lounge, for which he expressed immense gratitude, and his headache resolved. Regarding the patient's psychological symptoms, the differential is broad and includes several mood disorders, psychotic disorders, and personality disorders. However, his symptoms are most likely an adverse reaction to attending medical school. I suggested to the patient that his symptoms might resolve if he took some time for himself, to which he reacted with a lengthy diatribe about how sick and tired he is of being told to take time for himself when he is simultaneously required to attend 4 hours of the day for a lecture, followed by 8 hours of memorizing the material from those lectures, as well as class sessions that drag on while he had a metaphorical thrombus of flashcards to complete. All of this has prevented him from exercising, which he notes has likely provoked the growth of a real thrombus somewhere in his cardiovascular system. I recommended that the patient follow up with his primary care physician. He retorted that he is his own primary care physician, and his soonest available appointment is 17 years from now when his child graduates from high school and he pays off his student loans. Thanks for humoring me with that little vignette. It does take a bit of masochism to pursue a degree in medicine. My classmates and I knew this going in, but I don't think any of us truly comprehended the toll it would take on our relationships and well-being. In any case, we've made it to the other side. I have some unsettling news, though. The busy work is not over. We're now heading into the working world with meetings during the lunch break, emails and EMR messages to sift through and respond to, credentials to maintain, and documentation to complete, not as much for patient care as for billing purposes. You may have been looking forward to finishing medical school, but here's the irony. You'll look back and you will miss it dearly. You'll miss the feeling that you were learning interesting, important things. You'll miss the camaraderie you had with your classmates. You'll even miss those marathon classroom sessions where you had a cohort of friends with whom you could commiserate. After surviving medical school and residency, you might start to feel like you've put up with enough. The long days and administrative work will frustrate you. You'll get upset with patients who demand too much of your energy, don't follow your advice, or try to manipulate you. This frustration might spill over into your interactions with others and affect your relationships and well-being. These are the signs of burnout. You've probably already met doctors affected by this, the surgeons who are short with staff, internists who spend only seconds with patients, or specialists who are loath to waste time consulting with a medical student on the phone, or preceptors who seem to have no interest in teaching. You'll meet colleagues who feel because they've put up with the grueling training required to be a physician that they deserve more respect. This behavior is not only counterproductive, it's ignorant. Medical training is grueling, but it's nothing compared to the stresses of daily life for most of the world. Living paycheck to paycheck, fighting starvation, or enduring trauma at home, if not fleeing from it abroad. For a lot of doctors, this suffering is a blind spot. They dismiss the idea that much of their own success is attributable to their lucky circumstances, most likely growing up in a wealthy country with supportive families and abundant resources. I say all of this as a warning. Our medical system is struggling, and as physicians, we'll have to deal with the consequences of that struggle. Many of us will experience this dreaded burnout, and will be tempted to adopt that hardened or careless attitude in response. Counterintuitively, I believe the solution is the opposite. We have to be mindful of our emotions and reactions, cultivate a positive outlook, and invest in our communities and workplaces. I have a few thoughts on how we can do this. First of all, be humble. You have overcome the trials of getting into and surviving medical school, but you might have been on top of the class, or like me, barely hanging on. Congratulate yourself and acknowledge your hard work, but don't boast or belittle others. Second, be grateful. Acknowledge everyone who has supported you. For me, it's my wife, Sarah, who for the last year has been practically a single mother. I think it's probably my daughter back there that's been interrupting the service. It's also my parents who raised me to be the person I am and who have supported me through everything. I'm also thankful for the support of my extended family, several of whom are here today. I'm grateful for the generations before me who immigrated decades or centuries ago, and I'm cognizant of the advantage my European ancestors had, which benefited them over others, and that this imbalance may never fully be rectified. It's part of our duty as physicians to try to heal this divide. I'm thankful, too, for the village of people that has made the Central Wisconsin campus the success it is today. The preceptors, faculty, and staff who have supported and encouraged me and my classmates, particularly in our most trying moments when we struggled academically, when our personal lives interfered with our academics, and even when we expressed our dissatisfaction with the curriculum. Third, give back. Consider the physicians you most admire and hope to emulate. I doubt they're the ones who closely guard their time or knowledge. I suspect they're the ones who enjoy teaching, invest time in community, and contribute to a supportive environment for coworkers. They're the ones who you feel are interested in you and invested in your success. Teach as much as you can. Take time to mentor students, share your knowledge with mid-levels, nurses, and other staff. Recognize that your patient's health is impacted by much more than what you can provide in the healthcare setting, and invest time in your community with organizations that strive to improve livelihoods for everyone. Speak up for people who do not have the privilege that you as a physician have. Fourth, and perhaps most importantly, try to have fun. Much of today's world is gruesome, unfair, and out of your control. Be conscientious about your choices, opinions, and actions, but keep cynicism in check. Commiserate with colleagues and friends for sanity when you must, but challenge pessimism and celebrate small wins. You'll find that when you practice gratitude and seek enjoyment in your work, others will gravitate to you and enjoy working with you, and your own satisfaction will result. Before I conclude, I have to express one more thing. I have to tell you how proud I am of the 7 graduates in my class who managed to get through medical school in 3 years. When I've mentioned to seasoned doctors that I attend an accelerated 3-year program, the most common reaction I get is, how? For me, in my mid-30s, the time-efficient program was a huge selling point, especially considering the tuition savings. And though I knew medical school would require hard work and sacrifice, I honestly had no idea what I was in for. The truth is, medical school is already accelerated on a 4-year program. I think only people who have been through it truly understand the insane pace of it. But even more unbelievably, on top of succeeding in an accelerated program, my classmates refused to put life on hold. Some of us even got married and had children over the past 3 years. All of us matched into one of our top choice residency programs. And I'm even more proud of my classmates going into fields of medicine where there is tremendous need, including family medicine and psychiatry. This demonstrates a recognition of the needs of our communities, a compassion for others, and a commitment to solving some of the biggest issues that our generation will face. So as we move on to the next phase of our lives, I want to share something that Dr. Dodson said to me last year when I was at the height of my exhaustion and frustration with school, preparing for STEP exams, putting my residency application together. She said, "Half of what you learn in medical school is wrong, and you'll spend the rest of your career figuring out which half that is." So class of 2024, welcome to the second half of your education. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. I would now like to invite Thomas Voss, also selected by his peers from the MCW Central Wisconsin class of 2024, to the podium to say a few words on behalf of the 4-year graduates.
Well, thank you very much. It certainly is an honor and a privilege to be speaking here representing the class of 2024. You know, my classmates actually had a little bit of trouble finding someone who would speak on behalf of the M4s today. And Dr. Dodson had originally approached 3 individuals. She first asked the most intelligent student in the class, followed by the funniest, and lastly, the most attractive student in the class to speak. All 3 said no. All 3 turned her down. So when I was eventually approached with the opportunity to speak, I actually said yes immediately, because what I told Dr. Dodson was that I didn't feel comfortable saying no 4 times in a row. That just, that wasn't gonna sit right with me. That wasn't right. But it truly is an honor to be speaking here today. Over the last 4 years of medical school, I've noticed a recurring theme among my peers and myself. We've all been on a quest to discover a secret ingredient, the element that would allow us to excel as medical students and distinguish ourselves from others. However, if you were to ask today's graduates about the key to success in medical school, you would likely receive a range of different answers. So if we never found the secret ingredient, how did we manage to make it to graduation day? Starting with our first year, we searched for the secret ingredient to kickstart our journey effectively. We all aimed to excel, secure top grades, and make a positive first impression during our clinical experiences. Each of us adopted a unique approach to achieve these goals, never finding the one secret ingredient. Yet, we successfully navigated through our first year of medical school. Beginning in the second year, our attention turned to the daunting Step 1 exam. We all thought, what should we do? How can I best prepare? What is the secret ingredient for success? Some used Pathoma, flashcards, practice questions, practice tests, and a multitude of other resources. Once again, we all took our own individual path, never finding a singular secret ingredient. Yet we conquered Step 1. The third year of medical school presented us with a new set of challenges in clinical rotations, shelf exams, and Step 2. Questions like, how can I be the best student on rotations? What skills do I need? What contributions can I make? Consumed our thoughts. We wanted the elusive secret ingredient to distinguish ourselves. We pre-rounded on patients, prepared charts, and worked late into the night studying for exams. Despite each of us choosing a unique approach, we navigated through the third year of medical school. The fourth year of medical school brought applying to residency. This was the time we really searched for the secret ingredient. We were told time and time again we need to do something to set ourselves apart from all the other applicants. There must be a secret ingredient for that, we thought. Some chose research, others volunteer activities, and others prepping for Step 2 that the score we achieved certainly cannot be ignored by residency programs. We never found exactly what that one specific thing was, yet we all matched into residency. So if we made it all the way through medical school without finding what this element is, what are we still missing? One of my favorite animated movies is Kung Fu Panda. It's a feel-good story in which a panda named Po is on a quest to become the Dragon Warrior, the greatest warrior in the world. At first glance, Po doesn't seem like a natural fit for martial arts. He's not particularly athletic. He's not the most intelligent person, and his diet could probably use some work. But he has this dream, the dream of becoming a Kung Fu legend. Throughout his journey, Po faces numerous challenges, much like we all did. But a pivotal moment arises when he's given the chance to read the Dragon Scroll. The scroll is said to hold boundless power and unveil the secret ingredient to unlocking one's true potential. When Po finally gets the opportunity to read the scroll, he's confused. There's nothing inside of it. There's no pictures, no words, there's nothing. And disheartened, Po questions his own worth. How could someone like me ever become the Dragon Warrior, he says. I was foolish to think I ever could. And feeling defeated, Po quits and goes home to work at his father's restaurant. Seeing his son's disappointment, Po's father decides to share the secret ingredient of their famous secret ingredient soup, a recipe Po has been curious about since childhood. Po's father pulls him in closely and says, the secret ingredient to my secret ingredient soup is nothing. And again, Po is confused. What do you mean it's nothing? You don't add a different sauce or herbs or anything? His father says he doesn't have to. For something to be special, you just have to believe that it is special. When Poe hears this, he opens the dragon scroll again and notices its true nature. Its reflective surface showing his own reflection. Realizing the scroll's message, Poe says, "There is no secret ingredient." Graduates, you can now open the item that I gave to you before we all walked in. And that goes along with this. We can learn a lot from Kung Fu Panda. Over the past 3 to 4 years, we've been searching for this one thing that will allow us to be the best version of ourselves, to stand out from the rest. But you see, there is no secret ingredient. There's no secret ingredient to being the best medical student or resident or even attending physician. Just like there's no secret ingredient in life. To being the best mom or dad, husband or wife, brother or sister, there is no secret ingredient. It's just you. These key moments in medical school have all stemmed from one source: believing in yourself. And with that, it's the values that you have, skills you possess, personality that you bring. It's what makes you, you. Yet that true strength lies in believing in yourself. The Dragon Warrior was never some invincible being with superhuman powers, no. It was simply someone who believed in their own abilities and that they can do anything. And that's all we will ever need. So as we move ahead, when doubt creeps in during those late night hours, questioning your worthiness or how you even landed in your current position, don't forget to open up your own metaphorical dragon scroll, because what you'll find is something extraordinary. It's you. Congratulations to the MCW Central Wisconsin class of 2024.
Thank you, Tommy. Well, congratulations again to the MCW Central Wisconsin class of 2024. I don't have to tell you, you're entering the next phase of your medical education journey in extraordinary times. Your education was disrupted by a global pandemic. You've experienced the normal challenges of medical school in a decidedly extraordinary way. Much of your experience has been accomplished under the heavy burden of the pandemic. The fact that we're able to gather today to celebrate your accomplishments in person owes much credit to not only your own perseverance and resilience, but also that of your family, friends, faculty, staff, and our partnering health systems, and I thank everyone who has contributed to this success. Just as your education has been altered, your career will be shaped by the events of the last 3 to 4 years, as well as whatever else is to come over the next several. You have withstood not only all the normal challenges of medical school, many of you accomplished it in 3 years, and all of you accomplished it in the midst of some of the most urgent national challenges in several generations. Here at MCW Central Wisconsin, we educate you to become physicians able to withstand complexity and uncertainty. You will be tested in the coming months. You will encounter unprecedented financial, social, and political divisiveness. You will treat the afflicted within systems that do not always function in either your best interest or that of your patients. We believe you are up to the task. We hope that you have come to realize how resilient and adaptable you are, how strong the connections that you have made here are, and that you have it in you to create lasting positive change as you go out into the world. I hope that you will go out into the uncertain world with one certainty, that you personally can help to reshape it into the world you want to live and practice in. I sincerely believe that you can. I would absolutely trust each of you to take care of me. Chris, Ryan, and Brian, thank you for choosing to care for us older folks. Jonathan, Rachel, Dana, Sarah, and both Katies, everyone deserves a great family doctor like you. Emmeline, who will come to know us from the inside out, and Casey, who will be healing our minds and our spirits. Eric, for putting yourself on the front lines in emergency medicine. Olivia and Tommy, for putting us gently to sleep so that Michaela can repair our bodies and our spirits. You are each and every one of you remarkable and memorable and have contributed to our campus in so many ways. You make me very, very proud. My hope for you is severalfold. First, recognize that your actions and intentions matter. Use the privilege you've been given for the benefit of your patients and the greater good for your community. Remember that the origin of the word doctor is teacher, and pay your education forward. Dream big and own your self-interests, and remember that dreams may be fulfilled through pathways that you do not yet see in front of you. Second, do good for your community while also doing well for yourself. Regardless of where your career and life take you, you have been given many gifts: a strong intellect, an education on a campus that has, we hope, enabled you to develop skills to understand and engage and improve your community, and a calling to a career with unbounded potential, both for doing good and doing well. Third, help heal our country and our communities through your skills as a scientist, healer, and advocate, and be part of the solution that brings us all back together. Remember that while there is only so much that one person can do, we each must do that much. I wish you Godspeed. Thank you for the privilege of sharing this piece of your life through the challenges of medical school. I am proud of you. Dream big, do good work, take care of yourselves and each other, and please stay in touch. I offer my congratulations and best wishes to you, the graduates, and to all of you, the family, friends, and community that has supported each of them. I would now like to invite to the podium Dr. Joseph Kirschner, Provost and Executive Vice President of the Medical College of Wisconsin, and the Julia A. Uline, MA, Dean of the MCW Medical School, and share some thoughts on his remarks for the graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Dodson. Graduates, family members, loved ones, members of the Board of Trustees, President Raymond, faculty, staff, and guests, this is truly a momentous occasion, and congratulations. I really love coming to the regional campus graduation ceremonies. It's always an honor to be here, and the close-knit atmosphere is really palpable. I have to say that the words of wisdom that have been provided from the podium today have been some of the best I've ever heard from any graduation ceremony. So thank you for those words of wisdom. I'm going to try and add a few of my own. They may fail in comparison to those that have been shared, but I'll do my best. During my tenure as provost and dean of the School of Medicine at the Medical College of Wisconsin, I've always viewed my ability to address the graduates as one of the greatest privileges of this position. I always refresh my comments every year, but I'm returning this year to the theme of MCW as a family. The roots of this characterization go back to my earliest days as dean of the School of Medicine. As I was interviewing for this position, family was a common theme that I heard from the faculty and staff, a really unique aspect of MCW as a family atmosphere. And every time I come to MCW, Central Wisconsin, I feel those roots in that river of family more deeply than ever. I learned that the people of MCW really wanted an individual that could help enhance that. And one of the things that I think has been the hallmark of my career has been to hire a dean for our regional campus here in Central Wisconsin, Dr. Dodson, who embodies that spirit of family every single day. Every time I talk to her, every meeting that I ever have with her, I know that her heart is here with this family in Central Wisconsin. And of course, it's the people of a biological family or organizational family that matter most, how they interact with each other, how they develop, and how they are supported. With outstanding people who are provided support and held to high standards, an organization can overcome almost any obstacle. I know that all of our graduates have been held to the highest standards, and I deeply hope that you've all felt supported during your time here at MCW. I know in talking to the team here at the Medical College of Wisconsin, Central Wisconsin, that they have endeavored every day to provide that support. As I look out today at our graduates, I know with utmost confidence that as you become the people of many organizations across the globe, you will bring your excellence, caring, and character in special ways to those organizations. You will bring your foundation that was forged here at the Medical College of Wisconsin. You will bring your intellect, creativity, passion, and you will contribute in meaningful and substantive ways to the excellence of the places where you will land. It is my profound hope that you will also carry the culture and practices that MCW Central Wisconsin has striven to embody in our family here, the best parts of being a family. These include striving to understand the wonder and potential in individuals, your family members, instead of the opposite, which we so often see today. Truly seeing your colleagues, family members, and including all as equals and endeavoring to lift up their ideals and hopes along with your own. Working with purpose and value with those around you, family members, to build a better planet and world while also accomplishing the tasks at hand for your own professional careers. And perhaps, and most importantly, coming to the proverbial table with those around you, your family members, to listen and understand rather than simply expound upon a viewpoint. As you journey forward, come to the tables you set with a sense of optimism, curiosity, and assume the best intent of your colleagues. This is critical because the MCW degrees that you are receiving today will place you in spaces to be leaders who set the tone and culture for those places you come to in the years ahead. Endeavor to be grateful for that colleague, family member, even if you have different viewpoints. Provide a space for respect, dialogue, and understanding of their journey, even though there may be some distance to travel between you both. Finally, in addition to gratitude and understanding in your future work, also create spaces for joy and love wherever your journey takes you and whatever your professional family may look like. These attitudes and practices will allow transcendence above differences and knitting together of purpose. One of my favorite sayings is that attitudes create perceptions, which actually create reality. If you bring these attitudes with you, they'll create a reality where positivity and connectivity bloom, is pollinated and propagates far and wide. I will conclude with my remarks of my own personal love for these MCW graduates in the year of 2024. They've endured much through the impact of the pandemic throughout their education, but I have personally witnessed through conversations with your faculty and staff here, the manner in which you have responded with courage and compassion and excellence. You've embodied the best aspects of a family under pressure and difficulty. You've supported each other in incredible ways. Some of you know that I actually have a member of my own human family in the class of MCW Milwaukee. And because of this, I've been afforded a different sort of look into our classes of medicine over the years. That proximity has allowed me a heightened appreciation of the unique and special characteristics and talents of this class of 2024. And it provides me with the absolute greatest sense of hope, wonder, and optimism for the future of medicine, our health professions, and the pursuit of knowledge through scientific discovery. We are in great hands with these graduates as they move into the world and create their own professional families, and I cannot wait to see what all of you will accomplish. Congratulations. I now wish to welcome to the podium Colette Salatka, MCW Central Wisconsin Assistant Professor, to administer the Physician's Pledge.
I know we've all said that we're all very proud of you, but really be proud of yourselves. You guys have come a long way. So it's my pleasure to present with you guys the 2024 School of Medicine candidates for the conferral of the degrees. We will proceed with the administration of the Physician's Pledge, the Declaration of Geneva. So candidates for this degree of Doctor of Medicine, arise and raise your right hand to recite with me the Declaration of Geneva. As a member of the medical profession, I pledge to dedicate my life to the service of humanity through the art of science and medicine. The health and well-being of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the autonomy and dignity of my patients. I will value the individuality of my patients and care for them to the best of my ability. I will safeguard the confidentiality of my patients. I will practice my profession with conscience and integrity, in accordance with the medical standards. I will share my medical knowledge for the benefit of the community and the improvement of healthcare. I will give to my teachers, colleagues, and students the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will attend to my own health, well-being, and abilities so that I am able to provide the best care for my patients. I will engage in honest self-reflection upon my character, acknowledging both my strengths and limitations. I will medical knowledge to violate human rights or civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Please be seated.
I now invite Dr. Raymond back to the podium for the conferral of the Doctor of Medicine degree. Dr. Raymond, on behalf of the faculty of the Medical College of Wisconsin, I present these candidates for the degree Doctor of Medicine and recommend that this degree be conferred upon them.
Thank you, Dean Kirshner. Candidates, by the authority delegated to me, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Medicine and pronounce you graduates of the Medical College of Wisconsin. Graduates, please come forward to receive your academic hood and your diplomas.
Graduates, as I call your name, please proceed to center stage to be hooded. After your hooding, please remain at center stage to accept your diploma. Dr. Cassandra Balson. Dr. Balson's community project was on effectiveness of training on suicide prevention and peer support. She is being hooded by her special hooder, Dr. Colette Slatka. Dr. Jonathan Bresler. Dr. Bresler's community project was on Health Committee Guide for Wausau Area Refugee Co-Sponsorship Teams. He is being hooded by his aunt, Dr. Joy Bresler. Dr. Brian Butterfield. Dr. Butterfield's community project was on assessment of healthcare satisfaction among migrant and seasonal and agricultural workers. He is being hooded by Dr. Colette Slatka. Dr. Michaela DeCoster. Dr. DeCoster's community project was on delineating teen mental health throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. She is being hooded by her special hooder, Dr. Amy Falk. Dr. Catherine Ernst. Dr. Ernst's community project was on a medical needs assessment of the uninsured and underinsured population of the Wausau Free Clinic. She is being hooded by her special hooder, Dr. Jeff Oswald. Dr. Ryan Gasner. Dr. Gasner's community project was on assessing opioid addiction treatment in Marathon County. He is being hooded by his special hooder, Dr. Chris Laren. Dr. Christopher Hagen. Dr. Hagen's community project was on cranium crew. He is being hooded by Dr. Colette Slatka. Dr. Rachel Herrick. Dr. Herrick's community project was on health career youth programming for underrepresented groups in medicine, Central Wisconsin's efforts to increase Hmong representation. They are being hooded by their special hooder, Dr. Christopher Zeman. Dr. Caitlin Ely. Dr. Ely's community project was on Cycling Without Age, an opportunity to engage the community. She is being hooded by her father, Dr. Joseph Crean. Dr. Sarah Johnson. Dr. Johnson's community project was on creating a standardized report form for Central Wisconsin school nurses. She is being hooded by her special hooder, Dr. Christopher Zeman. Next, we have Dr. Eric Lee. Dr. Lee's community project was on an assessment of medical needs within the Central Wisconsin Hispanic community. He is being hooded by his special hooder, Dr. Colette Slacko. Dr. Olivia Newgard. Dr. Newgard's community project was on a medical student near-peer mentoring program in character education designed to mitigate adverse childhood experiences in high school students. She is being hooded by her special hooder, Dr. Colette Slacko. Dr. Thomas Voss. Dr. Voss's community project is on the awareness and addressing the satisfaction of the Women, Infant, and Children program. He is being hooded by his special hooder, Dr. Brad Cook. Dr. Dana Warwick. Dr. Warwick's community project was on identifying areas of improvement in healthcare for individuals with intellectual disabilities. She is being hooded by her father, Dr. Scott Warwick. Dr. Emmeline Zaworski. Dr. Zaworski's community project was on language environment analysis LENA project. She is being hooded by her special hooder, Dr. Carly Johansson. Congratulations to our graduates.
I would now like to welcome Dr. Karina Norbaum, MCW Central Wisconsin Assistant Professor, to the podium to deliver the faculty charge.
You're almost done, right? So on behalf of the MCW-CW faculty, I would like to congratulate each and every one of you and all of your family and friends who've been on this journey with you. For those of you who don't know, I am a family physician and I co-direct the Physician in the Community course, or PIC, as the students say. So in the spirit of PIC, you might be expecting me to remind you about social determinants of health, or have you brainstorm an issue through the socio-ecological model. Perhaps you might even see a picture of New Zealand or two. I guess you'll have to wait and see. So another concept that we discussed in PIC was wicked problems. As you recall, a wicked problem is one that is difficult to describe, has many facets, and doesn't have a simple solution. It may be challenging to solve because of the number of stakeholders involved, the number of varying opinions, the economic implications, or the interrelationship of the problem with other problems. And there's usually no real endpoint. With the help of community teachers and through your community-engaged scholarly projects, we delved into wicked problems such as poverty, addiction, and other determinants of health. It is important to not only learn about causes and effects of the problem and how they impact health, but to also think about what role you as a future physician might play in addressing the issue. Today I'm going to talk about healthcare. I know you've heard this, but it is worth repeating. The United States is the only high-income nation that doesn't provide universal access to healthcare in some way, shape, or form. We have the lowest life expectancy and the highest infant mortality among large, wealthy nations. Yet, we are far outspending all other countries. Nearly 20% of our gross domestic product, that's a fifth of our economy, is spent on the healthcare sector to the detriment of investment in public health and social determinants of health that impact overall health outcomes significantly more than clinical care. Financial incentives are far greater for caring for sick and injured people than for keeping them safe and well. Lives are being cut short because of this, particularly for marginalized communities. In 1980, the United States and comparable countries had similar life expectancies and health spending. I'm not here to tell you about the good old days in medicine because I'm not sure when that was. But I can say that we have been witnessing some notable changes over the past 40+ years. The majority of physicians are now employees of hospitals or large systems or groups. The number of health systems is dwindling due to mergers and acquisitions. Private equity firms buy hospitals. Spoiler alert, it's not to help people. Nonprofit health systems have for-profit business models, and lean staffing models contribute to moral injury and burnout and threaten quality of care. And then there are the pharmacy giant, insurer, and pharmacy benefit manager oligopathies. Bringing it back home, I heard some of you expressing concern and dismay last year when your primary care preceptors were told by administrators that they had to squeeze more patients into their already packed schedules. Houston, we have a wicked problem here. I hope you get that because I'm old, so. There's no quick and easy solution as changes in health systems, payers, and players, and political winds are swirling around you. However, we can do better, and we really must be better for the health of our patients and communities and for our own well-being. It's not just on you to fix it. Look around you. Yep, look around you. You have shared values and common ground with the amazing people around you. And there are other amazing new physicians at med school graduation ceremonies all around the country. If not you and all of us, then who? Earlier today, you recited an oath. I pledge to dedicate myself to the service of humanity through the art and science of medicine. The health and well-being of my patients will be my first consideration. I will respect the autonomy and the dignity of my patients. I will value the individuality of my patients and care for all of them to the best of my ability. How you incorporate science and evidence for individual patients and how you communicate with empathy and compassion and make your patients feel cared for and heard is the art of medicine, as is the bigger picture in which you innovate and orchestrate how we can justly deliver health and healthcare in a way that values all human beings. Our ability to uphold this oath and practice this art is imperiled unless we address our wicked problem. This requires us to engage collectively as professionals and with others, with institutions, communities, local, state, and national policymakers, so that we can be aware of and help paint the big picture. We can't rely on corporations to do the right thing for our patients. I'm going to rely on the words of others to help encourage you. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. In addition to what you need to know to provide excellent care to your patients, be knowledgeable about system and policy decisions being made around you. Who's benefiting? Who might be left behind? What are the potential short and long-term impacts? The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. We need crazy people like you. Wicked problems may feel overwhelming and paralyzing, but never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Now, you know we're in Wisconsin, right? So individual commitment to a group effort, that is what makes a team work, a company work, a society work, a civilization work. And you are never strong enough that you don't need help. Physicians working together collectively and collaborating with others, sharing the same goals, can tackle wicked problems. It's up to you to determine what role you would like to play. I'd like to challenge you to not be sheeple. Don't allow yourself to go along or be herded because it seems easier. You may be tired and busy and have a lot of pans in the fire with patient and personal responsibilities. Remember your oath and what brought you to this profession, and critically evaluate how what you are being asked to do or what you see going on around you impacts your patients and the communities you live in, and take action. For the indigenous Maori people of New Zealand, the koru represents a fern frond beginning to unfurl. The koru symbols and embodies new beginnings, a new phase of life, renewal, hope for the future, positive change, personal growth, working in harmony, bringing people together, and being mindful of the good things in life. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Dr. Norbaum. So let me be the first and maybe the last for the moment to congratulate you as our new physicians. We have conferred on you today the title and degree and responsibility of being medical doctors, knowing that you will make us all proud to have been witness to this ceremony in honoring your success. Before we conclude, I want to give special thanks to our musicians from the Central Wisconsin Musicians. This includes faculty, staff, spouses, standardized patients, and other supporters of the campus sharing their talents with us today. Thank you all. And thank you specifically to Rachel, Ying, and Kelly, and everyone else who made the ceremony possible, and to the crew that came up from Milwaukee today. This has been a beautiful ceremony, which is about to end, and I wanted to say thank you to all of you for attending today. This will conclude our ceremony. Guests, please remain seated until the stage party and graduates have exited. They will be available for hugs and photos out in the lobby. Thank you.